Danielle here. Hello, my lovelies. I'm trying this video again, so we'll see if it works. If you are watching, please put a 1 in the comments below. Where you're watching from, say hello, because if I don't see comments and viewers, then I think there might be some technical difficulties. I am a intuitive awareness coach, a men's intimacy mentor, and a healer. And today I'm here to talk about actually communicating at the level of the person you're talking to's consciousness. The reason this topic of conversation has come up has been through some circumstances. I've been out west, inland, in the middle of Queensland, and the level of consciousness is different to the areas that I'm in, and I tend to have attracted only very aware, conscious people into my life, so it's not often that I have big communications with people that don't understand the things that I'm saying. But I used to work at McDonald's for 9 years when I was in Melbourne, and it actually taught me a lot of really valuable skills with management and with relating to people, and just a level of customer service and a lot of stress, to be honest. People get really, really angry when they do not get their food. That is something that I learned, definitely. Very hangry. But I remember there was one thing called customized hospitality. And basically, customized hospitality was where you talk to your customer at their perceived age, or you basically make a judgment of them, which is kind of unfair, but you make an overall judgment on the way they approach you, how they talk, and then you adjust how you communicate with them so that they feel at ease and like you're sort of being a bit more friendly and hospitable. So the example of that would have been that, you know, you have a teen come in and you might be, hey dude, how was your day today, kind of thing. So, or an elderly man, you might come in and be like, good morning, sir. And it's really simple in those regards. But when we talk about, oh, good morning, there's actually people online. Thank you. Don't forget to press a 1 and a 2 and where you're watching from. So if you want to make change here on the planet, and maybe you are quite a conscious and aware person, you have to remember that most people are not at that level. And most people are in like a level 1 or 2 of consciousness. So you really require the skills of communication where you remember what sort of terminology was used, what sort of wording, what sort of things were important, what sort of things your friendships were like back in the past before you, I guess, woke up, to have significant effects and trigger a different point of view. So you have to change your terminology. I ran my bars class in ILY last Sunday, and it was amazing, and we had some really great feedback. And I was talking to one of the participants. I was doing a check-in, seeing how she's going, and she was talking about that she doesn't really have any. She works out at the mines, and she was saying that she didn't really have anyone to practice on that believed in like the spiritual stuff and that was open. And I was like, well, you don't have to come from any spiritual angle at all, because what you're doing is a pragmatic body process. So you just have to adjust and shift the way you think of it and share it in a different way. So there's a lot of different words you can use. You don't have to use an energy healer. You don't even have to mention the word energy. So, I sort of suggested that you say you work as a therapist in in a mental health therapy, or that you do a hands-on body process. And there's a lot of different things, and you say, and it helps with some of these symptoms. And that does not then have any resistance from someone going, oh, they're like woo-woo gypsy, they've got this enlightenment stuff going on, and they just shut off completely, totally. You got to work out who it is you're talking to and what they're ready and willing to receive. So out here, I've had quite a few conversations with some of the mining men, and I can definitely see that their level of consciousness level is back at a 1. And I haven't had many conversations with people that are still in that mindset, and it's been a challenge for me myself to adjust how I communicate, so that I am received. So I've played around and sort of worked out what people are ready to receive and how I come across, and I can't use the word conscious and aware. It just doesn't work. So I've just said that I work in men's mental health, and I'm a therapist. And that, for me, has been much more easily received than coming from I'm a men's intimacy coach and I work in energy, because they're kind of like, I don't even know what that is. And then you're like, awareness and consciousness, and they're like, what is the definition of consciousness? So they're already like glazed over, no idea what's going on, and you can't trigger a new point of view. So you just gotta really understand that everyone is at a different point on their journey. Everyone's at a different point of receiving, and to be the most change that you can in someone else's life, you got to work out what energy, space, and consciousness you need to be at that point in time to facilitate that new possibility, and to be that change for them, and to show them something different, and that there are different choices. Most of the time, you'll find that if you are communicating with somebody that's at a stage 1 or a 2 level of consciousness, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, I did a live yesterday on my personal page. I will share it over to this page, about the levels of consciousness, so you can have an understanding of what each stage and their mindsets are at. I forgot what I was saying mid-sentence. That we are at different levels. So finding out one where you are and where most people sit is a good way. But I remember level 1 and 2 people at that consciousness level are still in a fear and victim. Level 1's more of a victim mindset, whereas 2's more of a push mindset, and they kind of control everything. So their ability to... My brain keeps disappearing halfway through my sentences. This is what random sleep cycles does. That is a very important topic. Understand your own body's sleep cycles and try and work with it. And don't push its boundaries, because you won't work at optimal speed. There was something that I was going to say and I've forgotten. So just having that mindset that, at that level, there's no... The victim mindset and the fear-based mindset can cause a lot of resistance with receiving. So they're going to talk and talk and talk and talk and talk and talk, because they're going to need to try and release it. And a lot of people can't hold space for somebody at that level. So just being a listening ear can be healing enough. Asking a question, because most people at a level 1 and 2 hang out with level 1 and 2 consciousness people, and what happens is they actually don't listen. So they listen to talk, which means no one ever feels heard or validated. And without feeling heard and validated, it can be very difficult for somebody at that point to feel that their experience can shift and change, and they're just looking for a new perspective. I hope that has given you a slightly different point of view, and you've enjoyed our chats. I love you, and goodbye.